caving talk in ways that group can be seen by the women's liberation movement and so on. So far here, it seems not to have had any strength whatsoever. In fact, most of you women are much better adapted to caving than most of us men, simply because you have smaller bones.
We've got a new role. Yes, the new thing is coming out right here. That's
What's
right.
this?
The role of knot tying.
Yeah, right.
He's a specialist in knot tying.
A Boy Scout leader here, too.
Eagle Scout.
Are you an Eagle Scout?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Are the terms that you were talking about, the vocabulary? Nobody has made a dictionary of caving terms. Or if they have, I haven't seen it. I've been watching. This is my field. I think I would have run across it. What are the caving terms? What is a fat man's misery? You know? What is an impossible passage? What is a force 10?
Yeah.
And as we go through this, we probably develop a dictionary of 100, perhaps 1,000 words.
It'd be really interesting just
I
to
would
keep
like-
a log of that.
I would
Wow.
love to. I'd love to have that.
Oh, that'd be enough to do. I think that'd make a good project for somebody. Really would.
You mentioned this first. What's your feeling about that?
Maybe the two could work on it together.
Or all of
To
us.
see it
It
when
would-
it's
I think,
It would
I
be-
like Gary's idea of just keeping a log if someone knows what they're talking about.
Well, we should have
Chalk it
done
up.
that from the beginning.
I don't understand a lot of the terms that are going around.
This is another thing that needs to be raised. The log. Who was going? You were going to do the log, weren't you?
Well, we should have one that sits on this table, that we can just sit and write at heart's content.
Would you?
I don't know what you want.
Well, that's the point of the whole study. We don't know. Nobody's ever done it before. I can't say, well, here is a guideline. But if you would be willing to take over the role of, what would you call it on a ship? The fellow who enters in the log.
First mate.
The first mate, is it?
For the ship
Oh, the
steward.
captain.
Captain's log.
Captain's log, yeah.
Cave date. Is a liar. Or let's say at least he has a tendency to stretch it just a little bit. Again, as Twain said, he never liked kinds of stretching that they do. What do they stretch? I think you might find that it's depths of pit, or the size of crawls, or
Height of chimneys.
height of chimneys.
You can start by reading Davies. He lies about distance all over.
Now, here's the other thing is, though, as everybody edits Davies, like, I think maybe Davies is closer. There's a whole new lore thing about hatred of Davies, you know? Like, when I started caving down here, Davies was the Bible, you know, and that everybody said, you're going to go down Cave, West Virginia? Get a copy of Davies, you know? And as a matter of fact, they're out of print, and they're very hard to come by, and so we had to, you know, really rip one off, you know, to get one, to get the copy that's down here. And, but now, it's very popular. The new thing is to be very critical of Davies. And just like we're very critical up in Pennsylvania of Stone's book, which is, you know, my comment about Stone is that Stone never went to any of the caves. He just went in the entrance, you know, he just located the entrances, you know. Like he said, Blessing Mountain Wells is 50 feet long, you know.
Well, you mapped over a mile in one direction, I mapped over a mile in another direction. It goes on.
Right, yeah.
50 foot long.
And probably Davies is wrong and needs to be updated and things, but there's a whole folklore treatment, you know, just of...
Well, what's that crawl that I was reading about the other day? Davies didn't crawl is the name of a crawl. Where was that? Do you remember?
No, it's in the
Starting to-
holiday book, yeah.
Knock out Davies and the names of things. Or that whole business of onomastics, the names of things, the names of caves, the names of...
Everybody will probably come the same weekend. If you don't get back from Floyd Wagon, I do not get into Floyd Wagon.
Then we're going to do some other cave in the same neighborhood.
So you plan to be done at Floyd Wagon in time to come back for lunch?
Right, except that some people will probably will, some people will. No, not necessarily, I don't think so.
Crazy if you do. That's a great line. We all have. We all are. We all shall be.
Will you
this when we did Floyd Wagon?
No, I didn't do Floyd Waggy yet. Should have done that hellhole.
Will be used for deep collapse.
That's when it's all done.
Deep holes back?
Yeah. One in Pennsylvania, huge, very expensive, financed by the federal government.
Drove a
Huge.
36-inch hole like crazy.
We keep thinking about it.
36-inch hole, cut it up
There's
fast.
soybeans, soy sauce in it too.
A couple times in Pennsylvania.
Anybody want more time to do this?
Michael? Michael!
Oh, I gotta get out of here.
Thank you, Robert.
Kentonville, Ohio. Into a really jockey thing, you know, weighing in at 180.
It's really not quite the same doing that snowman.
I mean, like this, the cold 40-mile wind, 70 degrees below
The only
zero.
way-
The trees
It's because it was so fucking cold.
cold outside.
Everybody kept saying it's warmer inside the cave.
Caves are warm. Motivation.
Some of us are going in Robert's van.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those crazy
You
ones
taking
don't
dr-
want to do hello afterwards.
You taking dry clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but take Yeah. Well, we're off.
Yep.
To get off.
There we go. Let's go. Oh.
Yes, getting garlic rushes. No, you missed it. There they are.
Just look videos.
What do we say? Anything?
You want it tighter than that? That's how tight it was before. Okay. Just getting it right on.
Swallowed my battery toner.
That's cool. You little pony.
That post solid enough?
Your basic traditional Floyd Waggy rigging post. Okay, somebody slowly feed the rope over there, okay?
Yeah, I'll be over in a second.
Give me a
Second. God damn it. We're already screwed up. Okay, here you go, kiddo. Well, a nice...
turning like
Off! Ascend!
no cliff. Nothing like
That's it. It's hard getting caught in this cliff. And the rope is so tight you can't move it.
Yep.
Yep.
You're not gonna fall down back in again, are you?
Okay, Suzanne, what do you think of Floyd's Cave?
Well, it's the most beautiful lagoon. And it's really scary there because, like, the descent in is just so much fun. You know, you're just riding down there. But then when you come back and you realize you have to go back up, that was really scary. You know, not the free part, because that's okay. But when you get to where it's the cliff and the rope is tight on it and you can't get the thing over it, it's really scary.
What brings you, a young co-ed, out on a West Virginia mountainside, dropping into bottom left?
Okay.
Okay.
Quite frequently people ask the purpose of this course, and the answer, of course, is varied. Gary Dart has one set of answers and I have another, and so we combined and formed one course. My basic notion is that it's a maturation ritual, that anybody who enters this course will be taught that he or she can survive in some of the most difficult, most dangerous terrain in this country. And that after finishing the course, they will know that they can go almost anywhere, they can live almost anywhere, that they can form a rescue team, get almost anybody out of anything. In short, anybody who enters the course as a boy or a girl will leave a man or a woman. And for me, this is the primary reason for the course. There are numbers of other reasons, such as the popular reason of conservation, ecology. Ecology is one of the primary features. We have just so many caves, and every bit of vandalism, every bit of destruction will be irreparable. Perhaps in an epoch or two, things will grow back. But any destruction now will be visible for 10, 20, 30,000 years. So the notion of ecology is quite important to me. I think other aspects, it's a team sport that's non-competitive. There's no position for competition here. And there are very few, I think, instances of college team sports or college activities which are non-competitive. That is, they're totally cooperative. What one does, all do. No matter what happens, all are responsible. For example, today, a girl who was never on climbers in a cave before went up to secure some of the rigging on a person who was ahead of her. She was part of the rescue effort, and she did admirably.
What sort of activities have you got other than caving?
Well, the whole area of cave folklore is totally unexplored in this country. There's been some work in England, but I would like to have the class investigate cave lore, cave mythology, cave stories, look into the themes, look into the patterns of stories, see if possibly certain kinds of the old riverboat stories haven't transferred their way into the cave. I'd like to also see certain kinds of religious aspects of this course. We have one man doing religious mythology in the cave. I think I've heard a number of times students coming out of a cave saying, "Now I understand what Plato meant." And I think that's really true. That if somebody's going to talk about Platonic realism, and he's going to talk about it in a classroom, I think he's missing Plato's point. I think that a good Platonic philosopher would do best to take students into a cave for a few hours, and when they come out, they know what he meant. I'm sure of it.
Why did you enroll in this course?
Well, I enrolled in it for a variety of reasons. I had started caving early last fall, and I hadn't done too much, just basically horizontal caves. And I felt that it did a lot of good things for my head. It was a really good way for me to handle my fears. Like when you go to do rappelling or an ascent or something, in a normal situation, you could back out of it. You can say, I don't feel like it, I'll try it tomorrow, you know. But if there's nothing between you and getting out of the cave but, 70 feet of rope, and you have to do it, you'll do it. And once you realize you can do it, you can go back and just do it a little bit easier each time. I think caving is good in 4 ways, because first of all, you learn to work with yourself. Like you learn to handle, as I said before, handling your fears. I think you learn to work with other people. Like I noticed that a lot of the cooperation patterns inside the cave were a lot better socially than were outside of the cave, such as nothing was on a super competitive basis. Everybody worked for the benefit of each other, and you can't hide anything in a cave. Like, you have to express what you feel because you're in an alien environment, and you have to act the way you feel. You're just not going to be able to hide anything. So I think in some ways you can get to know people better through caving than you could in a situation where they could put on a lot of roles and things like that. I think it's good in that you learn to work with nature, because in caving you're not working to overcome the cave, because you have to realize that if you work with the cave, you'll be able to survive a lot better than if you try and overcome the cave. So I think there you develop a good head for ecology in that sense. Okay.
Well, the Lycoming College has presented me with a terrific opportunity on this caving May term to develop my own ability in caving gradually as I like it. I don't feel that I'm pushed or forced into it like you do in most college situations. It's not as highly competitive. It's relaxed, a very fun thing to do, as well as educational. You don't feel that it's really kind of dragging on you, that you have to meet a deadline for this or that. And it's just a real comfortable feeling to be here and with these people. It's really a terrific group of people we're here, and I think it's partly due to the professors that arranged the course and helped in selecting on the group that came. And it's just a really well-organized thing, and I hope to see much more of it in the future. I think there will be.
How do you hope to relate this to your studies?
To my studies? Well, the particular field that I'm interested in is the technical aspects of caving, rappelling, ascending, and I can further my knowledge by the people that are here in West Virginia, such as Bruce Smith, who are experts in this particular field, and I wish to make a journal, a book on this area for novices. They can read into this and understand what they're getting into before they begin this technical aspect of caving, the vertical rope work, ascending, rappelling, the different methods, how they're used, and what particular caves that they apply to. And I think a lot of good can come out of this, and for everyone, it'll be a really good publication.